Now, the problem is 100% more serious. It's 100% worse than it was before, because I changed the 1.5 in the sugar to a 7.5. Why would that make it worse? 100% worse. It's lowering your energy, and also it's insinuating that you're going to have to go through a withdrawal. And if you bring that person into a withdrawal too quickly, you're just causing them to have a heart attack, because the heart's already tired. It can't hardly take any more. So get them down out of the heart attack range before you take them through withdrawal. Now, you will notice a complete change in personality whenever this number comes down. Well, it comes down and then goes back up. But up here, it's 27, and if it gets back to 27 down here, it should, then it should drink more water. It should not get that high, even if a lot of it is in the omega cell form, the urea. And this, you will notice, one of the most amazing things that you will notice is a complete change in personality. A complete change in personality is that inward tension goes down. I have seen people that are only 24 hours apart that I did not even recognize them the second day when they come back from a test, even though they were dressed in the same clothing, until I saw the card, then I recognized them. But they were so different. They were so drawn, so tight, so uptight and tense on the inside, until absolutely, whenever they become relaxed, they felt like a different person. The life was jolly. They were having a good time, and the day before they were so irritable and cross, you just couldn't imagine. And when people are cross with you, never be cross back. Never be cross back. Keep your cool. I don't care what they say or do, keep your cool. If they're your patient, yes. You may come to the mic. You may come to the mic.
If you change the urine pH to 5.20, what would happen?
If you change the top number of the urine pH to 520, you would have practically the same problem. The only thing about it is the top number you'd need colonics. And you're talking about the pH now? The pH, okay. The top number, if you change that to a 520, you'd need colonics with a 720, and you would not need it with a 520. If you had these kind of readings, you'd probably have diarrhea if that was a 520.
Wouldn't the calcium deficiency affect the heart again?
To an extent, yes. Yes, and diarrhea would be lowering your energy rating at a much more rapid rate. So these are factors that you need to memorize. Know them 7 days a week, in and out, up and down. And as you learn these things, and they really become a part of you, it becomes really interesting to you. Now I'm going to change another figure up here and see what happens. Now, that makes a lot of difference, too. I changed it to 86. Now, what would you expect? Yes, you're more critical. Still more critical. You'd also expect the person to walk bent over. They would not be walking straight and be quite weak and trembly. You'd expect trembling and a voice showing weakness. Probably be walking with a cane or with help. So this is what to expect and see. The farther away from the numbers from perfect. And the greater the age, the greater the problem that you have before you. Yes?
Would she have arthritic tendencies too and all that?
Probably. Yes, probably. This is male or female that I have up here. So, these are problems that you have to reason through. Do not expect the numbers to tell you anything. Cause and effect. Go by the numbers. Go by the numbers. Cause and effect. Anywhere you put these numbers, you will find that there is a cause for them being there. And to know the cause, why they're there, is the secret of this entire thing. If there be a secret, it isn't really a secret. It all can be expressed in mathematics. It all is expressed by patterns and so forth. But the thing that makes this difficult is at different ages and so forth, you have a different problem with the same numbers. Are there any questions about this? Yes.
At that age, that person could be pretty much an invalid, couldn't
Almost, yes. Almost. Almost. Now, sir? Yes, yes, yes. In other words, it would be omega cells in the upper and lower abdomen, and in both lungs, emphysema in both lungs, and overall weakness. And
Omega cells?
yeah, yes, omega cells and delta cells. They're both at this age. The energy rating here would be 24 on a person 86 years old, and on a person say 40 years old, it would be somewhere about 45. About 45 would be the energy rating. Yes.
What do you see in here that tells you the patient has emphysema?
Well, this is a logical question that you need. For instance, what would happen if they had plenty of calcium and plenty of oxygen? These numbers would be near perfect, would they not? Right? All right, you know here that they have plenty of calcium, is that right? They got plenty of calcium, you see? It's not too bad. But, therefore, they got the calcium but don't have the oxygen. Well, because the energy is too low. All these numbers are out. If it had plenty of oxygen to go with the calcium, these numbers would be lower. The reason that these are out is because the liver is not producing enough enzymes. And the only reason we see here, the main reason we see here, is because they're not getting enough oxygen. In this particular case, that's a good question. I'm kind of like an old pitcher pump. It's in here, you just pump it out. So if you don't ask questions,
how do you calculate the energy?
You'll learn that about the 9th course, I hope.
When will that be?
I don't know. We'll try to get all these in a 2-year period. Going to try to get them all before. We're going to try to go through the whole series for 2 or 2.5 years, and we've gone through 4 of them now. So your 4th course will be sometime next spring. So within another 1.5 years, you should be finished with all of the courses. Good. I hope that you will get your book on logarithms and start reviewing on it, getting ready for the 4th course. That is the rough one. That is the one that changes from the geometrical math to the relative math. And that's the one that drives you right up a wall, because what you think you know, you don't. because the rules in geometrical math are not true. They're just the opposite in relative math, yes.
Most of the scientific calculators have logarithms on them now. Are they legitimate in this course?
Yes, sir. We use logarithms, yes. You can use logarithms with either relative math or with geometrical math. You can use it either one. I just bought 3 books on logarithms, and I've glanced through 3 of them and didn't learn a thing. I already knew it. But some people's going to ask me what a good book is on logarithms, so I'll be able to tell you the next course, the book about logarithms. But remember one thing that you've got to keep in mind, as well as the logarithms in your math, is your magnetic attraction, your chemical elements, your chemical attraction. Your math doesn't tell you everything without knowing something about chemistry and its magnetic attraction. The lower the atomic number, the lighter the substance. Remember that. The lower the atomic number, the lighter the substance by given volume. Remember I told you in the first course that all atoms under the same temperature and pressure were the same size. If that were not true, now that's contrary to what you taught in the chemistry books, but if that were not true, there would not be any such thing as a standard table of weights. It has to be like this in order to make a difference. The greater number of electrons that's in that given model at that given temperature and pressure increases the weight. Otherwise, everything would have the same weight. Exactly the same weight, yes.
On that pH, when it was 5.2, it was asthma, lung problem, lack of oxygen. Now it's 7.24. Is it the extreme from 6.4 that gives it the lack of oxygen?
No. Would you come up and ask it to the class, please, so they hear at the back?
On the one just before the dinner that was 5.2 on the urine saliva, you said it had asthma, lung problem, lack of oxygen. Now this is 7.2, and I just ask, is it the further it gets away from 6.4, either direction, is this the case with oxygen?
Yes, that's true, regardless of which way it goes, except before it was the calciums were low, the total calciums were low, bringing in a neurosis. Actually, the cause of asthma is a deficiency in calciums, which causes nervousness, which causes the spasm of the lung messages going through from the brain to the vagus nerves to the lungs, causing a spasm of the breathing is all asthma is. Spasm of breathing. It isn't that you have too much lack of oxygen. Really, it's too much oxygen in many cases. But many times you can't. The nature stops you when the breath is only just started, in order to keep you from becoming over-oxygenated. Yes.
Does a lack of oxygen also result in emphysema?
Not always, no. Why? Does the lack of oxygen always result in emphysema? No, why? And all other minerals, yes. And all other minerals, yes. What is the best food to supply the minerals for the lungs? Did you have any idea? Yes? Chlorophyll. Helps some, but there's one special mineral that's excellent. Albumin is excellent, but there's another that you should use in your cooking an awful lot. Allspice. Allspice is one of the finest things to use in your cooking. for a nutrient for the lungs that I know of, allspice. Allspice has got some of all the spices mixed together, and it's excellent food for to supply energy for the lungs, tissue. Also, there are a lot of people today that has emphysema because of the smog of the cities, even though they haven't smoked. Yet, many times in a very smoggy city, we find people that does not have emphysema. And we seldom ever find a person that smokes that doesn't have emphysema. So, it is the mineral deficiency that causes emphysema, the same as the deterioration of any other organ, a mineral deficiency.
Is emphysema delta cells?
Delta cells, yes, but they're dehydrated cells. Actually, they're a different type of cell. We think of emphysema as being a dehydrated cell, yet there are times when in the lungs there are delta cells, but they contain fluid, especially if you're spitting out blood or something that's coming from the lungs, or you wake up in the morning with a little bit of blood coming out of the nose. Now, all nosebleeds is not coming from the lungs. Nose bleeding is caused because of cancer of the liver, or omega cells in the liver. And the finest thing in the world to stop nosebleed is a little bit of Manischewitz medium dry grape wine. 2 or 3 ounces will stop nosebleeding. Yes. Yes, come up to the front. Come up to the front.
What I've done many times for nosebleeds, you just put your finger right down here, and just put it down and just hold tight. Right there. And just hold. Right down here in the V, right there. Right in that notch. And put it down and just hold down and hold.
Where's that?
Right down there. Just boom.
Oh, yes.
Put your finger right here and hold tight.
Yeah, but this one's beautiful, and it works. Nice.
Yes.
Another one is cold ice to the back of the neck that'll start the nosebleed right away.
Yes.
Rutin, R-U-T-I-N.
Yes. The root, they say. Good. Yes?
When I was a child, I had
Yes. Yes.
Always?
Yes.
Even if Rutin stops it?
Yes. Come up to the front.
I wanted to know if nosebleeds always meant cancer of the liver.
Yes.
Chronically?
Not chronic, but some.
Even in children?
Yes, even in
I
children.
had them for years.
Yes, okay, that means your liver.